Hello guys and welcome to Not David Zimaleta. So my viewer has came to my house and he's having issues with his turbo. So anyways guys, let's begin. I pulled out my CR Plus iCarSoft scanner and looking for the codes. Immediately when I scanned it with the OEM type of codes, I basically got a code that I could not read. Then I did a generic scan and I found out that there's an old hidden code for turbo underboost condition in this vehicle. So the check engine light, as you could see, it is not on while the vehicle is actually running right now. And I wonder why, because the code is present. And of course, currently he's having drivability issues where the Sprinter does not want to accelerate. There's a lot of turbo lag and hesitation. So we are here to try to find out what's actually going on. So in about a minute, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him start his van up again. I want to see if the turbo actuator leg will start moving. That is the first sign of the problem you want to actually pay attention to. If the leg actually does move, that is a good sign. So then we have to look further. Take a listen to this turbo. How does it sound? Can you hear that there's actually a problem with it going on? I am going to repeat this clip over, except we're going to be speaking Russian. I believe the sound is coming from the turbo, like the turbo is rubbing, like the turbo vanes are not opening up.
Да, я слышу вот это шелестение. Это означает, что вот эта лапка, она либо не настроена правильно, она создает этот звук. Я сейчас... И включи заново. Окей, заводи. Окей, значит, Actuator выполняет свою работу. Работает? Сам Actuator работает.
I had the driver of the Sprinter turned off and start his Sprinter back up again so that I could observe the turbo actuator leg. A lot of times these legs are either not adjusted properly or not working due to many type of reasons, some of them being the actual actuator is bad. What actually goes on is, you see this pipe that I'm actually trying to remove right now? There is too much oil getting into the turbo from this pipe. I was going to try to pull it off, but I already have seen what's inside before we actually play the video. There's way too much oil that's making its way into the intake manifold. This is causing his drivability issues with the turbo because the intake manifold, it is completely clogged up with so much soot inside that the engine cannot breathe properly. Therefore, proper air-fuel ratios are not being matched, causing his turbo to actually have turbo lag, even though this is a brand new Garrett turbo with the actuator, with the turbo leg. So it's got everything there to be new. It shouldn't be actually doing this. But the engine has other issues. So what I'm actually getting ready to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete the code. I'm going to hit erase right now on my CR Plus. The check engine light is not actually there, and this is a hidden code that I'm actually seeing with the CR Plus, not with other code readers. This one actually can see all the hidden codes. Now we're going to take this for a test drive. I want to see how it actually performs now that I actually have deleted this code. One of the things that I always mention on my channel, don't be just throwing parts at it like a brand new turbo. I see many people saying, oh, it's turbo, oh, it's a GR. They go ahead and install the new GR, a new turbo, where the problem is not even the turbo related or EGR related. You have to look deeper. You really have to understand these sprinters to be able to diagnose them properly. And this is the hardest thing of all the mechanics. A lot of them, they're good at wrenching every day, but they do not know how to diagnose these sprinters. Some of the mechanics that own these sprinters and actually drive them every day most likely will be a lot better at able to detect the actual problems and be able to diagnose them properly and early. So let's go for a drive. Yeah, your turbo's loud. Surprisingly loud.
Резонатора нет. Вот этот бакс я его снял, поставил просто этот replacement трубу.
Metal one?
Да.
It's still, it doesn't matter. It's the way the actual sound, it's a lot different than the actual exhaust sound. But it's
Okay.
Потому что у меня экзоста нету. У меня нету масла.
I removed mine as well. I could definitely hear the way it's rotating, but we'll see how it performs. Seems like the way it's accelerating at slow speeds, it's normal. It's doing its job, but it's surprisingly loud. It's just it's a screechy sound that it's doing. Did your other turbo sound the same?
Да. Штык черный.
Yeah, it's smoking black because of your fuel injectors. They're dirty. So it accelerates fine. Is this the acceleration that you're getting? Mainly this viewer speaks Russian, so I want to make sure you guys understand exactly what's going on. He's having several issues with his Sprinter van. One of them is he's got a lot of black smoke, and that a lot of times comes from fuel injectors being dirty. You basically need to clean them. As a last resort, you gotta actually do some fuel injector cleaner inside of your fuel tank. I do recommend, however, doing like a little drip system with basically using seafoam. That one will clean the fuel injectors directly through an airline. Okay, good. How does it feel to you so far?
Чуть-чуть лучше.
I asked my viewer, how does he feel that his Sprinter is actually driving? He says it's a little bit better. A little bit later down the road, he's going to tell me it's a lot better, definitely better than the way it was before he brought the vehicle here. And I think part of the reason that it is behaving a little bit better is due to the fact that we have deleted that hidden code that was possibly causing some issues. But the issues still remain, not as bad as it was before, but obviously with the soot being inside of his intake manifold, his injectors being dirty, and he never cleaned the EGR, which could also be causing some issues. There's other issues that are present as well. They could be a lot deeper than this.
Да, лучше стало.
Yeah, it drives like a normal Sprinter now. Plus you have a dually. I mean, it's not like it's not a sports car.
Ну да.
He agrees that it's actually a lot better now, and I will actually say this, his Sprinter is performing by far better than I've seen most of these Sprinters. He's actually really good at catching early signs of his Sprinter, what is actually going on, and he's actually paying attention. He's trying to make sure it is, what's actually going on. He's trying to actually solve the issues. The drive went pretty well. It could have gone better if everything was solved. I actually gave this owner some recommendation as to what he needs to do to get his Sprinter in order, and we are checking to see if any check engine lights came back. Nothing so far. If you're having Sprinter issues and you want me to diagnose it with my computer, and I have several to choose from, feel free to set up a time on my email at zimaleta@gmail.com, the same spelling as it is on my channel logo. And we're going to set up a time for you to actually come back, and I will diagnose your vehicle. I do charge $50 to just plug in my electronic device, diagnose it. That includes me test driving it, and that includes me giving you some advice. If I do need to put my hands on it and actually replace some parts, obviously it's going to be a little bit more. But I think getting good advice from somebody that understands these Sprinters for 13 and a half years that I've been actually dealing with them, it's probably going to be a pretty good learning experience, especially if you know nothing about them. Most likely it's going to end up saving you a lot of money and headaches down the line and prevent you from actually throwing a lot of expensive parts at it and getting nowhere. More and more, I'm hearing from Sprinter owners and my viewers that used Sprinter parts are hard to find. There's not a lot of them for sale. Most junkyards, they don't even have any Sprinter vans. So if you're looking for some used OEM Sprinter parts, if you don't want to put in Chinese parts that are aftermarket that don't last, feel free to contact me and see if I have any of these parts available. I do have them for sale.
And this is something that I actually started doing, guys, is dealing in used Sprinter parts. I am dismantling about 4 of my Sprinters out of 6 of them, and I am selling these parts. So this Sprinter owner and my viewer decided to actually pick up some parts from me because he claims he actually cannot find them even at the dealer, and if he can find them at the dealer, they're actually very, very expensive, and he does not want to put in any Chinese parts because he had some bad experience out of them and they just don't last. So I don't blame him. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself and see you guys in my next video. And please hit a like on this video and please subscribe. And stay tuned for more Sprinter videos and other videos like this. My name is Serge Zimaleta. I'm 37 years old. And yes, I experienced success after buying my first home for cash. Back in 2011, I was broke, but I learned to solve problems on my own. Now I'm helping others to solve their problems. I know what pitfalls to avoid to stay profitable in business. Need motivation to be more successful in your life? Do you have Sprinter Expediter business problems? Then subscribe. Let's find creative solutions to your problems. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my helpful videos.